Hi, this is Jonathan Mark with Flyby News. I'm just going to give you a tour of the website. So if you go to flybynews.com, the top paragraph tells you where we've come from about the Cassini Earth flyby. And then there's key updated resources. And that includes 9/11, JFK, evidence of fraud in U.S., 1969, 1972, lunar missions, with a 50th anniversary coming up in 2019. So we want you to be educated on that because it kind of like makes you realize how mind control and conditioned we all are beyond what we thought is possible. Mark Twain once said, "It's easier to fool people than to convince them they've been fooled." And that's a real clear thing about the moon issue, especially if you're part of the television age. When I grew up, color TVs were just coming down the street. It was like a big center of our lives. This is like after World War II and the baby boomers and the hippies and this lifestyle that was rolling along. And people did not deal with the issue of the November 22nd, 1963 coup d'etat of President Kennedy. So that's why I cover that in this website. Connecting the four big conspiracies. So after the key updated resources, and I want you to check it out, is energy pollution's impact on our environment, UFO ET, credible witnesses with military people that had experiences and were coming forth and sharing what happened while they were under their command regarding UFO and the concern of nuclear power, nuclear missiles. There's a health and spiritual blog, which I give all my health tips. So from colloidal silver to nutrition. I'm philosophic about my diet. I feel like my body can adapt to it, and I choose to be vegetarian, non-dairy. And that is a little bit less toxins that I have to intake, so I'm happy about that. And then resources for reclaiming a lost USA Republic, which we haven't succeeded in doing, but we have a plan. So if you want to check the plan out, kind of like combines with truth-telling, like the Truth and Reconciliation movement of South Africa when that transformation happened. I would like the same thing to happen for all crime and allow anybody to receive amnesty for truth-telling up to a certain date, and then those that didn't come forth and resolve those issues, the justice system would kick back in. So everybody would have to share their crimes, and we can start again. And I'm talking about the killing of President Kennedy, that crime, the cover-up since then, faking going to the moon, and taking money for military corporate control interests with no awareness of what they were doing with the environment. And you'd almost think that they were working with those that want us to go back to a no atmosphere condition like what happened to Mars. And then, which is the perfect segue, the big surprise out of the Cassini Earth flyby. Bart Jordan and his evidence of advanced ancient civilizations. He was really the big surprise out of the Cassini Earth flyby. I couldn't even imagine this guy existed in my wildest imaginations. And then after 15 years, I am totally convinced he's authentic. Principled person and individual, and made some incredible contributions to science and our civilization. We just need to listen. And now we're planning on proving this evidence, and I'll let that speak for itself. So if you want to get some more background on Bart Jordan, who lectured at 5 different departments at the University of New Hampshire and was a concert classical guitarist, he studied under Andre Segovia. He had this other life that was able to decipher an advanced mathematical system out of ancient language, from sound to frequency numbers. And from that, he knew about the Cydonia region on Mars and was involved with that project, which he gave to NASA, and they're not acknowledging what's really there, which is a lot of artifacts. It's called the Harmony of Spheres, and that will be the title in the next interview with Bart Jordan, Time Singer. And then Free Leonard Peltier. This is Leonard Peltier's artwork. He's quite an artist and framed and still in prison for much too long. And so he's always with Flyby News because of the injustice to Leonard and to an entire people. He was recognized by the United Nations as a human rights defender. And we want to give our care and blessings to Mumia Abu Jamal, who's going through a lot of physical and emotional damage from the cruel and unusual punishment to human beings that the prison industrial system is all about. It's like the deterrent with nuclear weapons, both of those things, and the war on drugs. All those things are just to maintain money for dark operations. And that's what we're exposing. So Space for Peace on September 11th. Why, from our first campaign to stop weapons in space, we went to 9/11. And an overview of the military-industrial complex. And here's to my film, Dark Legacy, JFK, and 9/11. And there's various forms. You can watch part 1, part 2, the condensed section. There's a trailer. It's on YouTube. And there's a page that you can link to learn more about this film compilation. And that covers both 9/11 JFK, but also covers the Federal Reserve and the globalization of the financial systems and how that has impacted our world, especially in the 20th and 21st centuries, and the moon landing hoax, which really is in our future, because we can't have a civilization based on science until truth is accepted. And each year that goes by, it's been 45 years since they've claimed to have gone beyond low orbit and landed and launched off the moon. It's going to get more and more obvious sooner or later. It has to come out. And it's very humbling for us all to realize that we've been had. And I'm praying that anger will not be coming out of people, but more this energy for truth and reconciliation. And then we can focus our attention on a National Citizens Initiative for Democracy. And it's all here. I spent a lot of time on this website to guide you through his JFK, Mary's Mosaic. I interviewed the author of that book, Peter Janney. Russia Today declares 9/11 an inside job, false flag attack. And it's true. I'm sure they had their numbers of false flag operations and covert operations and executions, etc. The premier movie of best resource on 9/11 is Massimo Mazzucco's film, September 11, The New Pearl Harbor. It's a 5-hour film that brings you there and puts side by side the truth, what you see and what they're telling us. It's pretty fascinating. And here's a recent addition to this page. 55 architects submit resolution to be voted on at the AIA National Convention, the American Institute of Architects. They want to investigate 9/11 about WTC building number 7, because architects or engineers or even just simple folk like me can see that that building collapsed at near free fall speeds, like you would drop a ball off of the top of it, and it goes in its own footprint. So it was hardly on fire, and fire never has done this. So why wouldn't professional organizations stand up and say, this is not true? And that's what they're trying to do. Why do good people become silent or worse about 9/11? Article by Francis Shore, psychologist. And this is Paranoid Shift is a special article that showed the author's awakening and connecting the dots to George Bush Sr. being involved with all these great conspiracies and takeover of the U.S. government. With the dark cabal, not alone. 5 years in Dark Legacy Apollo is the issue of Flyby News that gives our plan for 5 years, and to come up with, by 2019, a greater awareness. Without truth, there is no justice, and without justice, there will never be peace. I am the face of truth.com. An excellent group, putting people's profile pictures on Facebook with 9/11 banners. And that's me and Senator Mike Gravel. This is my recent documentary. And I'm going through this quickly, but you can, check that out. Alice Walker says, the most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. And direct democracy is the answer to that, because we do have power if we unite and do what we can together. We can actually even amend the Constitution to enable a national citizens initiative that would have a referendum system, so we could enact laws and investigations through popular vote. And that's a government more of and by and for the people, and that's why we could amend the Constitution if there was enough of us united. And Mike Gravel put that plan out, and I hope you get to his website and sign up for it. You can find my other quotations and poetry. Recent issues of Flyby News. One was just sent out April 4th. MLK, just another anniversary of his assassination. Bart Jordan, Yemen, updated news. And then I'll start thinning out the news that's under critical news and events, because all that updated news is here, and it goes for quite a ways down. But it just accumulates, then I move it around. But there's those updated segments. So that's the basic tour. It just goes. And you can subscribe for emails. Check out the Flyby News, especially under critical news and events, and that gets updated almost daily. Take care.
Eisenhower warned us that the greatest threat to American security came from
the military-industrial complex.
And Kennedy heard him. And then he called on the world to strengthen the United Nations organization, to help them not just to rein in the military-industrial complex, but to eliminate it completely.
Together we shall save our planet, or together we shall perish in its flames.
You see them running away from the wall, leaving you for dead. Statements all in red. It's your money they loved most of all. You trust them men in suits, think they're better than you. Then you choose to give your power away. Take a look around, see what that's done. It's made this world we live in today. Modern day Nero, fiddle and play, flames burn even higher. Media play, my emotional strings fan the coals, feed the fire. Ignorance is bliss, the song of the fool. The wise man knows his own mind. The holy war is over when you no longer hate. There's no battle to be fought outside. They all fell down. You could hear the sound of angels crying as they all presence of love is the one without the power to wound. Stand alone in the dark, nothing will help in this dream of being apart. The only light to shine on the path ahead is the love that's inside your heart. Keep your eye on the small flame that burns within. Darkness will help you understand the pain of those that can see no light. Choose again, I know you can. And I only want the power that makes me appear as nothing in the eyes of you. I only want the peace that no one can take. Let the battle be fought by the fools as they all fell down. You could hear the sound of angels crying as they all turned away. You could hear the sound as the angels cried. Everyone is you, you are all one, no better or worse than the fool. The one voice heard in the presence of love is the one without the power to wound. Stand alone in the dark, nothing will help in the dream of being apart. The only light to shine on the path ahead is the love that's inside your heart. Keep your eye on the small flame that burns within. Darkness will help you understand the pain of those that see no light. Choose again, I know you can. And I only want the power that makes me appear as nothing